Yesterday was Kuki Shinobu's birthday. Woohoo! Yay! A real person gets a real birthday. Just kidding. Go seek help. These characters don't exist. No, I'm just playing. But yesterday, Genshin tweeted that it was Kuki Shinobu's birthday. And I remembered, oh yeah, I actually mained this character back in the day. So I wanted to come back and try to play her again. If you guys don't already know, she was the only character that I ever built as a physical DPS besides Eula, who doesn't count because... yeah, who was this character? Anyways, she was the only character who I really ever built as a physical DPS and used, and today I want to try out that build again and see if we can make any differences with it. And nowadays, it might even be stronger with new characters, new supports, and some brand new artifacts. We'll see how strong our Kuki Shinobu is. Without further ado, let's get in to the video. But before we get into the video, if you could just take a minute to go down and click that subscribe button, it really doesn't take that much time, and only a small percentage of you are actually even subscribed, so hitting that button really does help me. Without further ado though, let's get back in to the video. In Genshin Impact, you can really make any character you want a physical unit. You could make Chongyun physical, you could make Xinyan physical. It really doesn't matter who it is. If you want to make a physical character, you are able to, and you only need a couple simple things. First of all, you're going to need some sort of physical weapon. For example, on my Kuki Shinobu, I have an Aquila, but there are other good alternatives in each individual weapon slot. For example, in the bows, you got the Rust, which is a great weapon. And pole arms, you have things like Deathmatch, things like the Lithic Spear, and obviously any 5-star is going to be great too. Catalyst, well, you can't have a physical catalyst, but I thought I should say that just in case. Now, Claymores is probably your best option because you got the best physical weapon in the game, the Snow Tomb Star Silver, which is of course great for Eula, but not really anybody else. However, today, we're going to be talking about my #1 physical unit, Kuki Shinobu, or Cookie, if you want to call her that. She's a character who I rolled on the day of her coming out and immediately made like 3 to 5 videos on her, building her as a physical DPS and trying to do as much with her as I can. But, you know what? I want to try and reinvent that and do it all over again, because you know what, my build, it used to not be that good, but we of course made a lot of progress on my account in this last year and a half. If you want to fully comprehend how much physical Kuki really means to me, you'll see that I have an R2 Aquila on my Kuki Shinobu, which is level 90, and then on the #1 supporter in the game who needs base attack more than anything, I have a level 80 Aquila that's only R1. So yeah, clearly my priorities are set straight and I will not let anyone tell me otherwise. As for artifacts, I of course have the 2-piece Pale Flame, 2-piece Bloodstained. And speaking of artifacts, we really haven't got that many upgrades for physical characters since Bloodstained and Pale Flame. The only artifacts we've got since the Dendro update have been the obvious Dendro sets, which aren't good. The Desert Pavilion sets, which have things like Anemo damage bonus, which is decent, but obviously you don't need this full effect for a physical unit. And then obviously the Hydra damage bonus and the HP set that is meant for Dia. Physical units have basically been ignored since like 1.4 or whenever Eula came out. I don't even remember anymore. My constellation is unfortunately only 2, which is kind of funny because I literally have C5 5-stars like Mona and Diluc, but for some reason I can't get more than 2 constellations on a Shinobu. But you know what, for physical it doesn't really matter. And then of course on the talent, we got 10 on the normal attack and then 8 and 8, which we may or may not change today. But why don't we start out by actually testing her out and see how much damage she does alone. For our first test, we're going to go against Masanori, and we're going to actually compare something interesting here. We're going to compare my raw Kuki physical damage to my raw Eula physical damage to see what the difference is. My Eula is rocking a Skyward Pride, which I know isn't the best weapon, it's just what I have to use, and then the exact same build that Shinobu's using with a 2-piece Pale Flamed and a 2-piece Bloodstained. Now you think Eula would do a lot more, but let's test out that theory. So here we go. 1, 4k, 4k, 7k on crits, 10k on the final hit. So 4, that didn't crit, 5, and then let's see the charge attack. 8k, did that crit though? About 8k crits each time. 8k to 7k crits. And that is Kuki Shinobu's raw damage. Now, if Eula does less than Shinobu, you all better hit that subscribe button right now. I promise I'm not shaming any of you guys. This Eula is 62-141 with 2k attack and regular physical build. There's nothing that's that different about this build. Let's see if it does less than a Shinobu does. Bang. 1k, 6k, 8k on crits. But I'm saying Kuki Shinobu did 10k on her crits. Kuki Shinobu did 10k on her crits, Eula seems to be doing only 6k on crits and 8k on the final hit. Now let's see the charge attack. Bang, bang. Oh, he's blocking. Stop blocking. Thank you. 2k, 2ks. Wait, this is embarrassing. Only 2k and 8k on the final hit? I think my Shinobu did a little bit more than you, Eula. And that proves that Shinobu is the ultimate physical unit. Now, obviously, the big difference between my Eula and my Kuki Shinobu is the fact that Kuki Shinobu's level 90, Eula's only level 80. Kuki Shinobu has a physical weapon, Eula has a energy recharge weapon, which does have a fair amount of base attack though. She also has generally worse stats. She has 62 to 141, while Kuki Shinobu has 59 to 156, which actually isn't all that much better. And then obviously Eula only has a level 8 talent, while Kuki Shinobu actually has a level 10 talent. I think that still proves a lot. The fact that my Kuki Shinobu was able to do more damage than a pretty average Eula, I'd say is a good thing. I bet all the Elemental Mastery Kuki mains are feeling like absolute plebs right now. But let's move on anyways. Next things next, I actually want to do a tiny bit more for her. She seems pretty maxed out, but there's some different things that I'm able to do for her. Like see if Primordial Jade Cutter gives a little bit more damage, or maybe another weapon like the Black Sword might give a tiny bit more damage. But the first thing I want to do is maximize her skill. Now I know this doesn't really help out with her basic normal attacks, but it gives her a little bit more healing and makes her a little more self-sustainable. So I still want to upgrade this anyways, and actually I think I have the mats to do so. Let's check if I'm correct. Craft, and we're gonna need for her, we need the Philosophies of Elegance, and actually I have a bunch in my inventory. Let's go. Please give me dupes, Eula. I know I just made fun of you and I'm sorry, but I appreciate the single one. And does that give me what I need to take it to level 9? Shoot, Specters. Oh no, Specters. Oh my gosh, bro, I'm Spectre broke. You've got to be playing with me. And I'm Stardust broke, so I actually have to kill them? Oh, okay. Well, I'll be back in a minute. You know what? I was actually planning to, 10-10-10 today, but after realizing I have to grind Specters, I think I've changed my mind. I forgot how much I hate these things. Craft 5 more. Come on, Sucrose, be nice to me. Screw you. Be nice to me now. Screw you. Does it at least give me enough to take Kuki Shinobu's talent to level 9? Yes, sir, it does. There we go. Level 9 talent. Was going to do level 10 today, but, not after seeing this. I will do that another time. But now she's a little more self-sustainable, can heal a little bit more, and if I ever want to use her in Elemental Mastery comp, I could do that now. Alrighty, now it's time in the video for testing out different weapons and artifact styles. Our first one, our basic weapon style, which we've already seen, but I just want to show it off one more time for the viewers so we can remind you of the numbers. So this is Aquila Favonia, no buffs, just ordinary hits on crits and non-crits. So 10,200, remember that number. That's the number we're going to remember in our heads to compare to our other builds on Kuki Shinobu. The next build we're going to try out is going to be a crit orientated build that doesn't take much physical damage into account. So instead of going for Aquila Favonia and our physical artifacts with a relatively weak crit ratio, we're going to go for a strong crit ratio with relatively stronger artifacts, but not as much physical damage bonus. So let's see here. Jade Cutter, obviously, because it's going to give us 44% crit rate. And then as for our hat and our goblet, we're going to try to go just our best artifacts on our whole account. I have this piece with 30% crit damage. We're going to take that. Unfortunately, all my physical damage cups kind of suck, but maybe I can get a good one here. Who knows? Roll crit damage. Crit damage. Screw you. It's okay. We got a second opportunity. Crit damage or crit rate. Not good enough. But maybe it rolls straight crit damage. I mean, who knows? Anything can happen, right? Never mind. Alright, then I guess we'll go with this one right here with 21% crit damage. That's about the best I got. We got another attack stance here with 30% crit damage. We're going to take that. A Glad Feather with 22% crit damage, 7 crit rate. And then we're going to go with this crit damage hat with 15% attack and basically perfect subs. Let's see if that's any better. Ooh, okay. We got 80% crit rate, 217% crit damage with 133 recharge. Now that is a very strong crit ratio and we got very high attack. But as you'll see here, our physical damage is only 58%. Let's see how big of a difference this makes. So in our last build, we did 10,200. That was the big number with the final crit. Let's see if that number is any better. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, bang. 8K. Only 8, so it's actually a little worse, unless that wasn't a crit, but I think it was. 1, 2, 3. Bang. 8k. So it's actually worse. Interesting. So focusing completely on physical is actually a lot stronger than going for more crit. That's very interesting. I didn't realize that. I thought this build would be stronger personally. But I guess physical stronger. For the last build that we're going to try out with our Kuki Shinobu, we're going to be going a mix of the two. We're going to be going with our classic Aquila Favonia. However, you'll see that my crit ratio is now abysmal. So we're going to want to fix that by giving Kuki Shinobu a crit rate hat, as we'll have here with 24% crit damage, which seems good to me. And then also we're going to go with a Gladiator attack stance to get the 4-piece Gladiator's finale here, which is going to allow us to do 35% extra damage with our normal attacks. This is also going to give us a 61 to 160 ratio, which is a tiny bit weaker, but it should balance out with this 35% normal attack damage. So let's see if this is any better. Here we go. Let's spar. Will this do more or less damage? Let me know your predictions. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 10.2 again. It's about the same. It's about equal. 10.2. 1, 2, 3. 10.2. Okay, interesting. It's about the exact same, actually. There's almost no difference from our very first build. So this build with the Aquila Favonia and, to be honest, pretty miserable subs, it gives us about the exact same damage output as we get with physical artifacts, which is interesting actually. I expected this to do a little bit more, but I guess not. I think that really shows that crit isn't always the most important thing on your characters. Because for me personally, it's always been like, get a crit roll or die trying, but now that's no longer the case. Honestly, just pure physical damage seems like it's the way to go. And my physical Kuki seems like she's already been kitted out from the beginning, and I didn't even need to change anything about it. She never needed any changes. She was perfect as is. But now it's time for what you've all been waiting for, the Spiral Abyss test. Is this build actually viable in the Spiral Abyss with a full team? Well, why don't we go try it out? Now, obviously, I shouldn't have to say this. This build would never be viable in floor 12 because nothing is viable in floor 12, believe it or not, because this floor is insane, and honestly, I've given up all hope on ever being able to complete it again, even though I have every character in the game built. But my little rant aside, I think she would still be viable in this floor, and especially because we get that extra 75% physical damage bonus, it makes it a lot more viable. We're going to use her on this first half here against the Ruined Cruisers and Destroyers and Scouts, and see how much damage she can do. I've always found the best thing for physical comps is to go with Kuki Shinobu or whoever your physical character is in the first slot. In the second slot, I like to go Rosaria for physical shred. She has a lot of constellations and also abilities that help her shred physical resistance. You do have the option of going Mika if you have them built. I personally just don't have them built though, so I can't really use Mika. So instead I use Yunjin, who's a great normal attack buffer. And then lastly, I of course go my guy Bennett for maximum buffs possible. Let's see if we can do it. How much can we do in floor 11? We'll go with, these all suck, but I guess we'll go with EM. And it's the defend the pylon one, so we don't even gotta worry about time. Here we go. Bang, bang. Rosaria, huge, and let's go. 23k, 23k, 28k, 30ks, 30ks, that's nuts. 28k, 28, 25. Oh my gosh. I told you all it was viable in the Spiral Abyss. What did I say? We're almost done. We're almost done. These guys haven't even hit the pylon. Okay, they might have hit it once or twice, but not enough. 10k, 20k, 20k. I mean, what more do you want from her? Kuki Shinobu, you need to calm down. You do too much damage. And Eula, her feelings are getting hurt. She doesn't appreciate it. Reduce physical and 13, 14, and dead. Eula, I don't know her. And obviously, this should go without saying, but if she's viable in floor 11, then that means she's going to be viable in all the floors previous. So up to floor 11, you can basically use this build in any content in the game, and I think it's pretty fun. She has sick animations, some of the best animations in the entire game. She looks awesome. I mean, she's a ninja. What is there not to love? And she does amazing damage. That's why I think you should build a physical Shinobu, but obviously, it's your account. You do you. I just wanted to showcase my build today and get you guys excited for physical Shinobu. But with that all being said, that is going to be the end of our video for today. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more in the future, please consider subscribing or leaving a like down below. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.